Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to this particular lecture, which is functions in C. As we have already covered a majority of the portions in first and second and third modules, and a small portion of the portion is still left. That portion will be covered maybe after finishing the remaining two modules. So this is all about the fourth module is all about functions in C. So what is function? Function is a group of statements that together perform the task. So every C program, when we were actually writing, there is a main function, and many of you have asked me why you have got a return at the end of the main function. The answer was that is just an exit status. That means every function must return a particular value. So in main function it will not return any value, as because that we are mainly using either int main or void main. So in this particular section, why we are dealing with functions, that means there are two types of functions that we normally deal with. One is a predefined or built-in function which is already there in the C program. So you have to just call the library functions for library files and header files to access such functions. Like for example, main function, which is there in some header file. If you sometime we also used the square root function that is there in the math.h. We have also used the power function, which is also there. Power in parentheses, inside the parentheses we have put the base and exponent. That is also part of is a function that's part of the math.h. So those are the built-in functions which is there in the compiler. Now in C programming we have also got one more thing called user defined functions, so that if you have to repeat a particular set of programs, set of modules, set of programs, you will have to define your own function. So that function will have certain structure. How to define the function? Then that is called definition of the function, declaration of the function, and calling the function whenever required. So there are three important things to remember. One is function declaration, function definition, and calling the function. Now coming to the function definition. The function definition will have a general form, like first it will have the return type or the data type what you are going to give. A function name would be there, and inside the bracket you will have the parameter list. After that you will have the body of the function, which will say what you have to do within that particular function. Return type means I will explain this further using an example in the later stage, but for the time being, return type means a data type. For example, you have to find the maximum or the minimum of a particular number. That's a function. If you are given two numbers, you have to give the maximum number or the minimum number. Then what is the data, what type it has to return? It has to return the maximum. If it is a maximum function, it has to return the maximum value. That maximum value should have some data type. It may be integer, it may be float, it may be double, it may be long, right? So character. So it depends on the need. So that data type indicates the return type, means that particular data type. Then you have got the function name. So as I said, if you are using the minimum of two numbers, function name you can give as you want. That should not be a keyword. You can give any identifier, just like the identifier. You can give any identifier over there. You can give max. You can give it as a max, and inside that you have the parameter list. What is a parameter list? Parameter list indicates if it is like you have to find out the minimum of two numbers, what input you have to give in the function. You have to give two numbers, x1 and x2. And in other case, for example, we have also used in when we were actually calculating the power. How did we actually calculate the power? We have given POW. Inside the bracket we have given the parameter. What are the parameters over there? It was the exponent and the base, right? It was a base and the exponent. These were the two parameters. Similarly, in any function, inside the function name there will be, you will have a parenthesis open, you give the parameter list and then close, and then the body of the function, you can see here, body of the function would be here, wherein you actually, so this part, so therein you actually write what the function has to do. So if you are defining a user defined function, that means you have to give what the computer should do or what the program should do to calculate the minimum number or the maximum number. So this is about the general function definition. Now coming to the function name, so return type means the data type, function name is actual name of the function, you can give anything. Parameters are like a placeholder where the function is, when a function is invoked you have to pass a value to the parameter, as I have already told you. Then you have got function body. The function body contains a collection of statements that define what the function does. I have already discussed these two to you. Now let us see one example. Given below is a source code for the function called max. You have to find out the maximum of two number. This function takes two parameters like number 1 and number 2 for, because you are giving only two numbers. Suppose you are giving, you have to find out, make a function to find out the maximum of three numbers, then obviously you have to give all three numbers as the parameters. So here you can see that parameter number 1 and number 2, and it should return a value, the maximum value, right? So as a function definition, int max, you can see here, int max, that indicates the data type, max indicate the function name, int number 1 and number 2, these are the parameters. So you have to be very careful that when you define a function you have to give the data type. You cannot simply give number 1 and number 2, you have to definitely give the data type over there. Then the remaining thing is, the next thing is local variable. So inside that, this is the function body. You can see the parenthesis the braces over here, open braces, int result. That integer result means that's a local variable. That means within the function, if I am giving number 1 and number 2, how should it calculate which number is maximum? That is for that you also need a local variable called result. If number 1 is greater than number 2, result equal to number 1. This problem you have already done, you are familiar with this problem. I am just explaining you how it is to be done in the case of an function. So if number greater than 1, number 2, result should be equal to number 1, else result equal to number 2, result, return result. So you have to mention what it should return, what the function should return, and then close the braces. So that's all about the function definition. Once you're defining this particular function anywhere in the program, you can choose to before the main function, after calling including all header files, you can actually you can actually include the function definition over there, and then you can start the main function, and whenever you require this maximum function you can call that maximum function, and further as it goes further you will understand it better. Now what is function declaration? Function declaration is nothing, but we have already mentioned about the function declaration. When you are defining a function, see, as we go back, you can see here the first line, this was the function declaration basically, and this portion is the body of the function. So if you have declaration plus body of the function, that is called function definition. But if you are not interested to define the body of function here, you are only interested to declare the function, and later at the end of the program you are interested to write the body of the function, then you have to first give a function declaration like this. That is the return type. That is sorry, that is the return type, name and parameter list. That means you can declare the function first, and then the actual body of the function you can write separately anywhere we want. You can give after the main function also. I will give you an example. For the above defined, for example, for the above defined maximum function, which we have already said, the function declaration is as follows: int max, int number 1, int number 2. So it's basically the declaring the function. And if you are also including the body of the function below this, that is called the function definition. And I'm not interested in giving the function definition over here. I'm only interested in declaring the function, and later on I can tell about the body of the function. Parameter names are not important in the function declaration. Only, for example, as I said before, data type is important. You can also, the same function can be declared like integer maximum, integer comma integer. You don't have to even give the name, you just need to give the data type. That is also fine. Now the most important thing is calling the function. That means if you are calling a function while creating a C function, you give a definition of what function has to do, right? Now the thing is, you have to use the function. How did we use the function in the case of power? To calculate the power, we have just given POW, right? We have just put like POW inside the bracket. You have given the base and the exponent, if I'm correct. So we have given it like this. So similarly here also you have to call the function. It has to be in the order of function name should be there, and the parameters also should be there. What parameter should go to that one. So when a program calls a function, the program control is transferred to that particular function. For example, I'm just maybe I can give you the example once it is here. You see here the example for the same example which I have said before. Hash include stdio.h. So this particular program is written to calculate the maximum of two number. The first line is hash include stdio.h. okay, so that includes the main function. stdio.h contains the main function. That's why I'm calling only the header file stdio.h. The all remaining things are not required. Math.h is not really required. Conio.h is also not required. That is not compulsory to include. Now you have also got you can see here that function declaration I am giving. I am not giving the body of the function in this particular. So you can see here, this is only the function declaration part, this much. That is, I'm just giving the data type, that is int, maximum, that's a function name, integer number 1 and integer number 2. Integer means the data type, number 1 and number 2, these are the parameter list. Now I'm not defining, you can see I'm not defining the body of the function. The body of the function is given only after the main function. After the main function, you can see at the right side of, so you can see this is basically the body of the function. This is basically the body of the function. So body of the function, I can either keep it here after the function declaration, that means it will be the function definition, or I can also keep it after this first set. I mean after the main function also I can include the body of the function, which means what the function should do. Now if you see, function declaration is done, then main function is opened, main function integer main brace is opened, and you are defining the local variables which are required over. The local variable definition means whenever in any function, if you have to use, apart from the parameters you are giving in the function, you will have to use many local variables. So local variable, for example, like int a, int b, all these things are considered to be the local variables. So I'm just initializing the variable int a is equal to 100, int b equal to 200. Okay, then another variable is mentioned as int return is another variable. Now I need to find out the maximum of a and b. Okay, maximum from the given two numbers a and b. So I am calling the function. You can see, calling the function to get the max value, that is return. That ret is a name of the function. As you can see, when we were, this is the name of the function. Max is the name of the function. Return, I'm saving it in this maximum, I'm saving it in a variable called ret, that is return. So return is equal to maximum of a comma b, where max is the function name, a comma b are the parameters. So I am calling the function. When you call the function, it will return some value. That return value is saved in ret. Now I will print maximum is return. Okay, now this is not complete. This function, actual function body should be defined. After this I am defining the body over here. You can see function returning the maximum value of two numbers, int max, int number 1, number 2. Okay, so this is basically again the definition, function definition is happening here. Then you have also got the local variable defined. So within this function also you need some local variables, right? So here int result is a local variable. If number 1 is greater than number 2, result should be equal to number 1, else it should be equal to number 2, then return result. So when you are writing here return result, the value you are going to get here, return is equal to the result. So whatever you are getting as a result over here will be returned to this particular function. So this is one example for function, the use of functions. So I hope this is clear to all of you. I will also upload a few videos later. Now I will give you a few problems. Before that, I have done a few problems using my the application which we are using, Mobile C, and I will also upload videos related to that, how I am solving programs using functions in C. So I hope all of you are doing good. I hope this helps you better. There are videos I have already uploaded as well. You can also listen to those videos, but maybe this might help you more because you are used to listen to me. So I thought I will also upload a few videos. Don't expect me to upload everything, but I will try as much as possible. I will try. You can see there are a lot of limitations doing all these things, but still you can we hope that it will go well. So I will upload a few more videos and a few more tasks which you have to do using the Mobile C application. Okay, thank you, stay well.